Mr. Money had a simple plan. Save $5 every single day for 30 days. That's it. No complicated budget. No extreme spending cuts. Just $5 a day. At the end of the challenge, he'd have $150. It didn't sound like much, but Mr. Money wanted to find out something. Could saving a small amount of money every single day actually change the way he thought about money? So he made one rule. Once the $5 went into his savings, he couldn't touch it. Day 1 started tomorrow, and Mr. Money was confident. This was going to be easy. Day 1. Mr. Money woke up, took $5, and put it into his savings jar. Done. $5 saved. He looked at the jar and smiled. If every day was this easy, he'd have $150 in just 30 days. The next day, he did it again. $5. Then again, and again. By day 3, he had $15. By day 7, he had $35. Mr. Money was feeling pretty good about himself. He had discovered the secret to saving money. Just save $5 a day. Simple, right? Then came day 10. Mr. Money had now saved $50. And that's when he saw something he wanted. It wasn't expensive. It wasn't some crazy luxury purchase. It was just something small. Something that cost $5. Mr. Money reached into his pocket. He had enough money to buy it. But then he remembered the rule. $5 had to go into the savings jar. He stared at the purchase. Then he stared at his savings jar. And suddenly, $5 didn't feel so small anymore. Because Mr. Money wasn't deciding whether to spend $5. He was deciding whether to break a promise he'd made to himself. Mr. Money saved the $5. And something interesting happened. He realized that before this challenge, he probably wouldn't have even thought twice about spending that money. $5 here. $5 there. A snack, a drink, a random purchase. Nothing that felt important enough to worry about. But those small purchases had something in common. They happened so quickly that Mr. Money barely noticed them. The $5 challenge forced him to slow down. Now, whenever he wanted to spend money, he started asking himself a question. Do I actually want this, or do I just want it right now? And that question started changing everything. By day 16, Mr. Money had saved $80. And saving was starting to feel less like a challenge. It was becoming a habit. Every day, he would wake up and think about his $5. He didn't need motivation anymore. He had a routine. And that is one of the biggest differences between people who save occasionally and people who build strong financial habits. Motivation comes and goes. Habits keep going. Mr. Money was no longer asking himself whether he should save. Saving had simply become something he did. By day 20, Mr. Money had saved $100. And now something unexpected happened. He didn't want to stop. The money in the jar had become more than just money. It was proof. Proof that he could set a goal and actually stick to it. So Mr. Money started thinking bigger. If $5 a day could become $150 in a month, what would happen if he kept going? 1 month could become 6 months. 6 months could become a year. And suddenly, Mr. Money realized something. The real power wasn't in the $5. It was in the consistency. Days 26, 27, 28, 29. Mr. Money was almost there. His savings had reached $145. Only one day remained. One final $5 deposit. But this time, Mr. Money wasn't excited because he was about to reach $150. He was excited because he had learned something about himself. The hardest part of saving money wasn't always earning more. Sometimes, it was simply learning to keep what you already had. Day 30. Mr. Money picked up his final $5. He walked over to the savings jar, and he dropped it in. $150. Challenge complete. Mr. Money looked at his savings. He hadn't become rich. He hadn't changed his life overnight. But he had accomplished something important. He had built a habit. And that habit was worth more than the $150 sitting in the jar. Because saving $5 once doesn't change your financial life. But saving $5 consistently teaches you something much more valuable. Discipline, awareness, and patience. The goal was never to become rich in 30 days. The goal was to prove that you don't have to start with a huge amount of money to start building better financial habits. You can start small. You can start with what you have. And you can build from there. Because the biggest mistake people make when it comes to money is waiting for the perfect time to start. They think they'll start saving when they earn more, when they get a better job, when they have fewer expenses. But sometimes, The best time to build a habit is before you have more money. Because when more money finally comes, you'll already know what to do with it. Mr. Money started with $5. He ended with 150. But the real thing he saved wasn't money. It was a habit. And habits, repeated long enough, can become something much bigger. I'm Mr. Money, and I'll see you in the next investigation.